Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. This is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika. This is what you should be watching, okay? Have you seen this? Have you seen that? No? Well, go check it out and thank me later, okay? If this is your first time finding my channel, basically with my what you should be watching videos, I give you guys a breakdowns of things that I'm currently watching that I think you should watch, and things I've already watched, things that I've seen previews for or heard about that I'm like, okay, coming soon, soon come. You may just want to take a look out for that one, okay? And I also will say things like, maybe you was under a rock and you missed this one, all right, but you need to get into it. And I have my old schools, classics, and favorites, all right. This is all genres, no specific orders. I'll just give it to you guys how I get it, okay? And so usually I share a lot of these with my friends and family, and they always like the majority of the stuff I send them. And so since you guys are now my YouTube family, I am sharing it with you. So my first one on the list is The Staircase, okay? It is now out on HBO. And this is inspired by the true story, okay? The Staircase explores the life of Michael Peterson, played by Colin Firth, okay? And he is spiraling, North Carolina family and this suspicious death of his wife, Kathleen Peterson, who's played by Toni Collette, and I love her. And this was a documentary on Netflix first, you guys. So if you know about it, then you know. But if you don't, then you may want to check out the documentary on Netflix, as well. This is based on a true story, okay? And so speaking of documentaries, you know that Netflix, well, I won't just say Netflix, but I think they kind of have the majority of them. There's some on HBO, there's some on Hulu that has been good too. And so another one that, just in case you were under a rock and you missed it, that was super crazy, okay, was Abducted in Plain Sight, right? And this was basically, he's a family friend. He's cool with, the mother, the father, right? And she's a radiant little girl, and her parents don't recognize the danger that she's in, okay? And it was all kind of stuff going on all up and through here, honey. He was with the father, he was with the mother. It was just a lot going on. So if you have never checked that one out, you may be interested in it. Some of it could be too heavy for you. Some can be very triggering, let me warn you. But if you can stomach it, because sometimes with these documentaries, I got to watch a little at a time and go back. I can't get through the whole thing. So just putting that warning out there. Another one that's pretty much got the same warning to it is Captive Audience, a real American horror story on Hulu, okay? And this one was a story of how, the media was like a magnifying glass that impact the characters caught in this narrative. It was Ashley and Steven, and they never knew their father. Apparently, he had been killed in some type of accident in 1972. And when this little boy, Steven, is about 7 years old, he goes to school and basically didn't come home, okay? And so he's missing, and his mom is basically trying to use the media to help find him or whatever. And, after 7 years, he's basically, they thinking he dead. But 7 years later, he returns back home. And, of course, we have to see the struggles and stuff like that he went through with, being away for that many years and then coming back. And where was he for all of this time, okay? And so that one is Captive Audience, a real American horror story on Hulu. Now we get into The Gentleman. Now this one slipped underneath my nose, okay, which doesn't happen too often, but it does happen, and I don't mind when it happens because I'll be looking for something else to watch. I always feel like I've seen everything. So maybe you guys have already seen it, but it's The Gentleman. It came out in 2022, and it is on Netflix. I had a lot of people in here, okay? And so it's Mickey Person, is an American patriot who becomes American by building a highly profitable marijuana empire in London, all right? And when word gets out that he's looking to cash out of his business, it soon triggers an array of plots and schemes, including betrayal, blackmail from shady characters who want to steal his domain. And this is by director Guy Ritchie. It has an all-star cast, like I said: Charlie Hunnam, Matthew McConaughey, Colin Farrell, Hugh Grant, and Jeremy Strong. If you never saw it, you may want to check it out. I just checked it out the other day and it was pretty good to me. Okay. Then we have coming soon, soon come. Mr. Katt Williams is back, okay? And he has a comedy show coming on Netflix called World War III. And Katt Williams will basically riff off the truth, the lies, you know, chicken wing shortages, the war on drugs, and this electrifying stand-up comedy and Netflix. I mean, in Las Vegas, y'all, on Netflix. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. And since I didn't have so many movies to put on this list today, okay, because I already did a movie breakdown. Was the last week or the week before? The last one before this, y'all. This is number 17, number 16. I did a breakdown telling you guys everything that was coming for May. I also did a breakdown telling you guys everything that was coming in April. Sometimes I do that, okay? And so this list was kind of short. So since I only have 5, I added 5 on to make it an even 10. And I'm going to be giving you some old school classics for these last 5, okay? And so we starting it out with The Color Purple, y'all, okay? Sister, you've been on my mind. All right. The book was originally by Alice Walker. Of course, this is director Steven Spielberg. And it is basically the tale of 40 years of Miss Sally's life, okay, played by Whoopi Goldberg, living in the South, who survives incredible abuse and bigotry. After Silly abusive father basically marries her off to the equally abusive Mr., okay, played by Danny Glover. Things go from bad to worse. Of course, this is one of the ones that Miss Oprah played in as Miss Sophia, that everybody know. You know, you told Harpo to meet me, but I always enjoy it. So that's one of my old school classics favorites. We then go to Purple Rain by Prince. I miss him so much, okay? And of course, you know, Prince is a victim of his own anger, all right? And he's a Minneapolis musician on the rise with his band, The Revolution, okay? And he is trying to escape a tumultuous home life that he has through his music. And he is also trying his best to avoid becoming like his father, all right? The next one I have is also by Prince, Under the Cherry Moon, all right? One of my faves. I think is literally underrated by a lot of people. A lot of people sleep on this one, but it is so good to me, okay? And basically they find news, him and his boy Tricky find news of this trust fund beauty. You know, they be out here scamming folks, okay? And it so inspires the pianist to basically you know, go to this hotel in Nietzsche on the Riviera, all right? And the story goes from there. If it just so happened to slip underneath you and you ain't see it, check it out. All right. The next one that's my old school favorite is The President's Baby. Okay, the soundtrack to this was fire. I had it on cassette tape and I think CD too. But this, of course, is with Lorenz Tate. He comes home as a soldier, Anthony Curtis, you know, from the Vietnam War, and he is coming back to the boogie down, baby, okay? But when he comes back, him and his friends are basically having to suffer, you know, indignities, and they're trying their best to get steady work and to provide for their families, but it ain't working. So, of course, they got to go to the streets and figure out some other stuff to do. And so that is, you know, one of my old school favorites. And the last old school classic favorite of mine, and this was a tough one to pick a last one, y'all, okay? I think I might just do an extended full like 20 of old school classic favorites because it was a lot. It was hard to end it off, but I'm gonna end it off with Blade, all right? I just recently watched all 3 on Netflix. They had them all up there. You know, I got all the DVDs and I also have them on my you know, computer and my freaking external hard drive. I love it. Of course, this is the original Dandada, not the one that's soon to come, okay? I like Mashallah Ali, and I hope that he does great with it. But this is the original, okay, Mr. Wesley Snipes, all right, who played Blade in the first, of course, hit film trilogy. And he was Marvel's first blockbuster superhero. And, of course, he is half vampire, half human, and he is going out, setting off to get rid of these daggone, you know, vampires or whatever the case may be that are going after humans. And the vampires are trying to, of course, you know, seek to eradicate the human race. And so that is my last one for this list, you guys. And, you know, tell me some of your old school classics and favorites. If you know something I should be watching, please tell me about it, because I'm always looking for different stuff to watch. You know, put it all in the comments. Let's discuss. You know, Give me some flames, all right? Let me know you came by. Give me a wave. Say hey. Whatever you want to do, like, share, comment, subscribe if you like the content. And until next time, toodaloo.